that's me, Stephen Leckenby. The company is Leck Inc. Our tagline is building brand vision, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that for a couple of minutes. So a little bit more about me, 20 years in marketing and business development, driving growth and culture inside multiple industries, building their brands. But my biggest marketing accomplishment was I convinced that blonde, not the elephant, but the blonde, to marry me. So I pretty much feel like in my sales presentation, I usually don't have to go much further than here, because if someone like me can convince someone like her to marry me, I don't know why you wouldn't hire my little crew to help you promote what you're doing, because clearly we are really good at manipulation. So yeah, she has a beautiful daughter named Ella, who's 11, and then Carissa, my wife, and I have Lucy, and that's her first birthday. And she was very frustrated with that photo because we pulled her out of the high chair where she was eating her smash cake and tearing it up. Oh, look, I have another baby photo. What do you know? If you'd like to see any further baby photos, please message me. I'd be happy to set up a Zoom meeting just to show you more photos of my Lucy. I was 42 years old when I had my first kid, so I'm making up for lost time and really taking a lot of people's time looking at those photos. Okay, real quick, here's some questions that I would suggest that you ask. So Leck Inc. is a website design company, and we're pretty much a complete creative digital agency as well. So we overlap some with some of the other folks that are here, but I want to share how maybe we can work hand in hand and a little bit distinctively. And let's see, I'm going to see if I can minimize. There we go. So your message is everything. The collateral you use to promote your message is just incidental. Let that sink in a little bit. So ask these questions. What are you doing today to make sure people are thinking about your business and its potential in the same way that you do? How are you making sure that the tools you use aren't too far removed from your control and your input? And why are you choosing to promote your business the way that you do? And so the reason that we ask those questions is I tend to base everything I think about marketing, promotion, website design on this premise that the less enthusiastic we are about being sort of forced to use tools that the industry tells us we're supposed to use, the less interested we're going to be about sharing that marketing with other people. I've mentioned this a number of times where how many times have you been in a conversation where someone said, hey, go to my website, and then they spent the next 20 seconds telling you all the things wrong with it so you'd be prepared to see a website that wasn't as attractive as they would hope. And so we want to create tools that we're really stoked about, really enthusiastic about, that we connect with from a vision level. So our website design is definitely a big tool, but ultimately it's just a tool for the foundational things that we like to do. We want to build brand awareness. We want you to stand out in your industry. We want to tell the long-term story. We want to chronicle that. We want to help to drive sales by talking about your distinctive, which we'll focus on here in a minute as well. And again, I do apologize for blasting through this quickly. So how can we help your business promote, market, etc.? So we consult and manage marketing and promotional expressions, both project work, one at a time, or ongoing efforts. We'll lay the foundation and create a new website for you, or maybe we need to rebuild or rehab the site that you already have that's out of date and you just haven't had time to work on because you're out doing the business of your business. And then we add social and digital marketing layers on top of the online foundation you already built. An ideal situation for us really is to eventually create a relationship where we are your outsourced marketing manager. And this is where I was talking earlier about being hand in hand. Some of the customers that we work with in this position, we are then working with radio and television on their behalf. We are working with video creators. We are working with other larger social media ventures or SEO projects for their websites. And we take that off of their plate to where they're doing the business of their business. And we might meet a couple times a month and talk about the overall visions and goals. And then we make sure that all of the agencies that are on that team of people, and we go out and find the best creative professionals we can, and then we help keep them accountable to that core vision, so the company is consistent and they're distinctive continues to stand out. The websites, social media, video, email marketing, branding, content creation. We'll do some writing. We'll take bullet points that people share about their vision, and we'll turn around and try to write content for the site that helps to flesh that out. We do work with the Wix platform. We're a certified expert designer with the Wix platform, primarily because we like to create a tool that someone can take and not have a bunch of extra cost once the site is designed and launched. And Wix, where it started out probably 20 years ago, is kind of a just do it yourself, have a fun website just for the heck of it. They have now grown immensely. Their SEO backend is massive, and there are enormous agencies across the countries who work exclusively now with Wix. So a lot of tools, and it really is comparable to some of the other website creators out there, and has a lot more aesthetic potential, I think, and a lot more control that you can have yourself as the end user. So really quickly, this is where we try to focus. This is more of a belief system for me as we're getting close to wrapping up here. Trends are really important. There's enormous amounts of data. AMP, I know, a number of times has provided us with a lot of the data that's really important for us to consider. But I think sometimes when we're deciding which marketing tool do I want to spend my money on, we jump right to the data. And that's where we can get ourselves into trouble, where we're marketing, we're promoting, we're spending money on something that's creative, that someone told us was creative and important to use for our business to promote it. But it really doesn't align with who we are as an individual and as a company. And it's that trying to remind ourselves, when I wake up in the morning, when I started the business I was in 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, how did I feel about it? Mm-hmm. What got me up in the morning that made me excited about doing that particular business? That's that core vision. And so we try to motivate people, and maybe sometimes even have to push people a little bit to say, okay, we understand there's popular ways to promote your business, but if those don't line up with who you are as a person and as a company at a root level, then eventually those aren't going to be things that are going to be as valuable to you, because you're going to lose interest in them. You're going to stop paying attention to the analytics because it's just not connecting with who you are. And so we focus on building brand vision. If you want to jump to our website, there is a snappy little video. Morgan and Emily, you'll be impressed. It was purely from iPhone. So iPhone production there, but I think some of it's on a ferry boat. So talking a little bit more deeply about this concept. So you can check us out at leckinc.com. I know we don't really have time right now for questions, but would love to set up some individual time to talk more about how we can help either with your website, with a website of a customer that you work with, a small to medium-sized company that needs a new site, needs a rehabbed site. Love to work with them on that. So love to set up some individual time. And then the question that I would like to leave you with is, what is your distinctive? So every one of us sitting here is one of hundreds of people in our industry across the King and Snohomish County area. So it doesn't matter how nicely we talk about the services that we provide, we're providing the exact same services as a whole bunch of other people. So obviously we know relationship is critical, but when you really think about your company, and when you really think about you as a representative of your company, what's the special quality? What makes you notable? And I would propose that if we can keep those special qualities and those notable items about our business at the forefront of driving our marketing, that's when we really start to stand out. Yeah, you want it to look pretty. Yes, you want it to have analytics that tell you it's working. But again, you want to set yourself apart in your industry. And that means you really got to identify what's that intangible that your company has that nobody else has, because there is one. No matter how common your industry is or your service offering is, there is something that makes you completely different than everybody else. And that should be a driver of your marketing. So what is your distinctive? Think about that as you spend the rest of your day.